Anton Rain was born as the son of a wealthy businessman during the era of the Kingdom of Sordland. As a result, he was given the best education that his family could afford, and he practically lived like a member of low nobility. During the historic revolution that transitioned the Kingdom of Sordland into the Republic, Anton was worried. To the young Anton, the Kingdom era was better, as he remembered it as a happier and simpler time, especially compared to what was to follow. After the Republic was established, the military general Ludrin staged a coup to overthrow the democratically elected leader, once again showing Anton the fragility of democracy. The communist General Ricard only caused more chaos, attempting and failing to stage a counter coup, which resulted in the brutal Swedish Civil War. Tranquil Soul, another charismatic military colonel, succeeded in defeating both the Ludrinist and Ricardist forces, finally bringing an end to the civil war. Rain would join the young Swords and vote for Saul, hoping he would restore the original republic. However, instead, Saul seemed to be intent on rebuilding it in his own vision. State control rather than opening up the country for foreign investment, and more socialist focus, which did see short term gains. However, Anton, now being a renowned economist, knew it was only a matter of time before this leads to stagnation. Now, as Anton has won the elections, becoming the fourth president of Sordland, he finally has a chance to make Sordland into the beacon of hope he knows it can be. There are many challenges that lie ahead of him, and he knows that only he can lead Sordland out towards economic prosperity and greatness once again.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the second episode of Suzerain. So, last time we just finished the prologue, where we got the early history of Anton Rain. So we can see we have already seen this, and we just finished our inauguration speech. So, before we even start with these briefings, we're actually going to take a look at the news, and then we're going to go through each of these reports that are listed everywhere just to get an overall picture of the world. We haven't actually even left the regional map mode yet, so this is the global map mode or the national map. Or I believe this is the regional map mode, and this is the this is the regional and this is the national. Yes. So as you can see, this is Sordland. To our north is the Kingdom of Rumburg. And I do like the idea of trying to maybe try to befriend them. I'm not really sure if we are actually able, if it's possible. Um, we have Agnolia, Vagsland, Lesbia, Valen. These are, and Rumburg, and the Kingdom of Rumburg, who all seem to be our direct neighbors. If we move further over here, we do see there's Kingdom of Rizia, Morella, Derdia, and we have the Arcasian Treaty Organization on this side, and we have the Cortanan Security Pact, which is on the east. Okay, so first we're going to start off by reading the news. Okay, so we have two articles here from the Economist. Okay, so this is actually quite good because we are literally an economic minister and we have graduated from the Lakwan Business School, so this is an important newspaper that we need to read. End Solonomics. A new era begins for Sordland, and it holds many economic questions that will need to be answered by President Rain. Our top economic analysts, with consultation from the National Business Council, have released. Okay, so what is the National Business Council? It's the official government structure that includes most of the leading business leaders of Sordland. They are participating in a cooperation with the government on improving economic prospects. Many details, including state projects, incentives, tax, unemployment, and future of the country, is discussed here. The future of the country is very important. It is led by Mikhail Evan, representing the private sector, and Simon Hall, representing the state sector. Interesting. So I guess these are people we will meet in the. Well, there's a lot we got to go through. And this is going to be a long episode. So, the top economic analysts with constitution from the National Business Council has released a comprehensive report on the performance of the past 20 years. A certain criteria of the report stands out. The last 4 year plan of 4 years of planned economic doctrine created a budget deficit and a clear reduction in industrial production output. This was specifically due to mismanagement and inefficient bureaucracy. The year on year growth, budget balance, and the production index values indicate that the two most productive consecutive years has been when privatization programs of Alfonso in 1949 program of Alfonso began in 1949. Our editorial team, with the help of experts like Mikhail Avin and Edith Agnock, we will also take a look at them later, have come to the conclusion that the recession was not actually caused by Solonomics, but by the drastic obstructionists of the state executives. Yes, this is what we also believe, in a matter of fact. It is the obstructionists within our own party that is causing these things. So we should try to find a way to get rid of them or try to, make them listen to us. President Green must take the advice of planned economic proponents around him with a pinch of salt, otherwise, he could find himself in the same spot as Strangled Soul in the mid 20s. Okay, so that is the first newspaper. I do very much agree with especially this last statement, that the problem, the reason this we got a recession was due to obstructionists rather than the actual Solonomics. We in fact might proceed with Solonomics and try to complete his free market reforms. President Rain must take the advice. Yes, we already read this. Restructure the infrastructure? Question mark. After the recent successful mega infrastructure projects from United Cortana and Bagsland, interesting. The world is warming up to the idea of having the world is warming up to the idea as source of growth and employment. But is there any truth to this success? Our investment analysis indicates that the infrastructure investments can be fruitful in short term, but even more so in the long term, especially if they focus on linking economic nodes that businesses logistics depend on. This, however, is the first step. The crux of the matter is the diversification of investments where the government supports employment and growth. It is key to help private businesses with government contracts, tax breaks, and political support in order to create a self-sufficient and dynamic economy. The government's role in Sordland should be to integrate the world economy and reap the benefits of global trade, which I again agree with. Globalization works, especially in this world. This is based on the 1950s, and the sooner we globalize, the sooner we will reap the benefits from globalization. We can see, like, in the current modern world, this has kind of like flipped a little bit, but especially in the 1950s, we are in the we are around the 1950s era. This would help a lot. Economic growth and income equality in the country won't be fixed otherwise. That is true. Okay, this is the Hallstatt Post. Rain spoke of change and hope. Yes, I will be making some huge changes around here. President Anton Rain has been sworn into duty in a grand ceremony in Hallstatt. Thousands have attended the ceremony where President Rain has met with his supporters for the first time after elections. In his inauguration, President Rain spoke about change and hope, bringing focus on reforms. Yes, we are going to continue with the free market reforms. Together, we will bring prosperity and reform to our nation. This is a time of hope. It is a time of change, said the new president before he went on to start his first day in the Maroon Palace. Okay. Campaign bill, fair representation in the assembly. The long stalled campaign bill once again took center stage in the National Grand Assembly. The bill, first proposed during the Alfonso presidency, has been put on hold due to the 1953 election, but now been restructured under Anton Rein. The proposed amendments ensure more proportional allocation of public funds and more accurate reflecting on the party's influence within the legislative body. Okay, that's weird, but okay. I mean, okay, I really don't know anything about this bill yet. Lakovan Times. The new assembly begins duty. Anton Rein has been elected as the fourth president of the the fourth president of Sordland in the seventh Sordis election. Okay, so there have been, yeah, I think, let me think. Yes, so I believe Saul was there for 3 terms. So that would be 12 years, I believe. No, wait. Saul, then Alfonso for 2 terms, and we are the 7th, right? I believe, technically speaking, Saul was there for 4 terms, and then he resigned from politics by making Alfonso the VP. Okay, anyways. The United Solent Party has won the elections on Sunday with just 37% of the vote, while Richard, yes, we didn't read about him in the thing. Okay, so he's an opposition party, leader of the People's Freedom and Justice Party, could gain just over 20. Kibner, the right wing, okay, he's a right wing nationalist party, so I think we are more common with him. I don't know, is he right wing? For he studied, okay, he studied also in Lakovan. So maybe we can work with both of them, I guess. The right wing party, yes, head of the right wing is placed third, just 11%. The Communist Party of Sordland and the Workers' Party of Bludia. So we have a Communist Party. What's this? Workers' Party of Bludia is a bludish. Okay, they both won just below 10%. Okay. The new term begins with the opposition of the PJFP and the NFP under the USP government. The unrepresentative voters below the threshold will result in the USP taking 52% of the seats in the Grand Assembly, giving them the lawmaking power. The new seats have been finalized as the following: USP 130, PJFP 70, and NFP 40 with independence as 10. Okay. Then we have Radical. Another USP president. How many times will people fall for the same trap? We've seen this before with Colonel Saul, who supposedly saved the country and brought stability in the time of chaos. His stability, however, meant a life of oppression. Any opposing voices were silenced and many were persecuted. Next was Alfonso, who elected as a liberal reformer to bring change to the USP and Sordland. Seeing his unfortunate inability, his own cabinet resigned. Oh my god, his entire staff resigned. As the third USP candidate becomes the president, it is high time to realize that real change won't come from their party. Okay, fine. So we skipped Sordland today. Most sold newspaper, Heart of Sordland. Okay. Anton Rein, the new president, has been sworn into the office by the Chief Justice Oslo Hawker. Another great win for the USP and Anton Rein, who managed to get 37% of the general vote. The first congratulations came from Kibaru Kisen. Okay. Which, okay, so he actually congratulated us first, which finished third in the electoral race and entered the assembly. The runner-up for the general vote was the PJP, which didn't concede until the last minute, but the results were clear since several hours in. Thousands of supporters have gathered on the streets of Lakovan, chanting the slogan, waving flags, and displaying USP banners to display unwavering support to the newly elected president. Public mood is very positive in the city, from all accounts on the ground. The city is celebrating that a Lakavana has become the president of Sordland. That's nice. So this is Lakovin, our hometown. Okay, so I would say everyone seems to be neutral, at least in the news. Like at least in the beginning, I think the radical seems a little bit anti us, but uh, I do agree with almost everyone else at this point, at least. Okay, so here we go. Let's read the reports. This is again going to be a completely in-depth role play session where we're going to read every single thing that pops up. So it's going to be extremely long. I apologize for those who just want to, I believe, like just view and see the things, but we're going to read through everything. And we're going to RPS this guy and John Rain. Lack of investment. The mayor of Avery. So Avery is, I believe, okay, so this is the city of Avery. Oh, did I just lose the report? Okay, here. Yes. The mayor of Avery, Eric Neal, reports a lack of adequate infrastructure around Avery, which seriously undermines the attractiveness of Avery's investment climate. Foreign investors, particularly from Agnolia, are becoming increasingly hesitant to invest in the city. Okay, Agnolia, and that's a country. Okay. Meanwhile, according to the data published by the National Business Council, around 19% of a company's total expenditure in Angland is absorbed by logistic costs, while in peer regions this figure is below 10%. Okay, so that's okay. Low production in Angland. The reports call attention to the alarmingly low levels of productive growth in the region of Angland, where there are also high rates of food insecurity, malnutrition, and rural poverty in inner parts of the region. So this is why we should open up the country. Like these regions seem to be heavily uninvested by the government. I don't think as the government we can invest. Like we can't invest in the entire country, right? We have like 7 budget over here, and we have 3 personal wealth. I don't really know what we can do with those yet, but I think government budget will be more important. And we would want to increase the personal wealth, our own personal wealth, as well as we are a businessman, and we would try to want to increase that somehow. Port of Lakovin loses importance. The latest marine traffic shows that the port of Lakovin is no longer the busiest of the Mokopan continent, falling behind to third place. While this is a negative indicator for our administration, Lakovin still has potential to shine again as a major trading center. The port of Lakovin is the largest port of Sordland and holds enormous importance for the economy, particularly as the main contribution centers linking the capital and inner parts of Sordland to the rest of the world. This major port city will hopefully keep supplying a possible economic upturn in the entire country if investment projects succeed. Okay. And we have some logistics issues. In a recent update from Horstad, the mayor expressed growing concerns about escalating tariff congestion links to the country's burgeoning population and rapid urban expansion. We do need urbanization, so this is a big issue actually. A logistic report pinpoints a significant increase in traffic volume and subsequent slowing of transportation routes as the capital's most pressing issue. The mayor stressed that lack of comprehensive design, large-scale and land-based logistics hubs serve as a converging point for all transports, which is exacerbating the issues faced by domestic transports. Given Horstad's status as the sprawling metropolis, the current situation where transports have been established separates 10 centers centers across 10 different districts are all scattered and inefficient. And then the general staff gathers. The general staff convened right after the elections to congratulate our victory. All branches of the Swordish armed forces were present in the meeting that took place at the Camp Strong Arm with massive security measures. The armed, chief of armed forces, Valken Kurga, was made a public press statement highlighting the increasing chance of military confrontation from eastern Mokopa and requested support to strengthen the military. Okay, okay, fine. So this is Agnolia. Um, Congratulations from PM. That's Prime Minister. Oh, yeah, Prime Minister. Yes, Van Houten congratulated us on our elections and praised our party's stance on just and transparent elections. He signaled his wish to continue the trade partnership between our countries as equal partners, as opposed to earlier trade deals, which he believes gave Sordland unfair advantages. Oh, we are friendly, so we do have somewhat like a friendly alliance with them. That's pretty good. Okay, and this is the Democratic Republic of Vagsland, and they are a socialist. Okay, so these are communists. Yes, let's see them. Congratulations from Chancellor Hegel. Chancellor Hegel sent his congratulations to your great victory and wished for closer cooperation between your countries in the future. Hegel signaled concessions from Vagsland in case of promising trade deals. He also congratulated the Swedish democracy for the successful elections and warned us about the threat of Arcasia's growing influence in Eastern Mokopa. Now, Arcasia. So I believe this is yes, this is basically our United States or Great Britain equivalent. It definitely looks like the Great Britain with the, I believe this is the Jack, Union Jack here, and I think they are what we want to. So we will not be on good terms with Vagsland. Then we have here, congratulations from Prime Minister Alvarez. Prime Minister Alvarez congratulated you for the results and spoke about his hope of having a beneficial partnership. Okay, he's speaking business in the future. He sends his best wishes to the Swedish people and warns the threat about the encroaching millennialists. Yes, and now what is millennialism? Millennialism is communist theory. That's okay, it's a communism. So instead of communism using the C word, they have millennialism. So it seems to be a theory of permanent revolution. So it seems to actually promote, rather than it being an extension of the state itself, it's promoting other states to have communist revolutions of themselves. So I don't know if it's possible for them to actually fund a communist uprising in our country. So we definitely need to make sure that doesn't happen because we're going to go complete capitalist. All right. Yes. Yes, I do agree with him. We should stand against the communist threat as well. Congratulations from President Smolak. He sent his congratulations on his election victory and wished for cooperation for cooperative future between Wayland and Solon, signaling to desire a normalization of diplomatic situations between two countries. So I believe Wayland is the country that had the civil war. Are we? So we are neutral with them. We are neutral with them. We are neutral with them. We didn't receive anything from Rumburg, actually. We are unfriendly with Rumburg. Okay, so is it possible? I don't know if it's possible, but we'll see. ATO advocates for global human rights amidst tension. In response for the global tensions, the Arcasian Treaty Organization, an intergovernmental military and economic alliance of 14 countries led by Arcasia, has issued an expansive report examining the state of human rights worldwide amidst the intensifying nuclear developments and the efforts to counter the expanding influence of the the Cortanan Security Pact. ATO's commitment to championing human rights remains unwavering. The report was meticulously identified regions worldwide where human rights were most endangered, shedding shedding light on areas of concern in multiple continents, including East Marcopa, West Rica, South and Southern Cortana. Proposed strategies underlying the need for actionable collaborative efforts to address these crises, championing the international focus of basic human rights and freedom. As a specter of potential tension and proxy wars looms, the report calls for nations to remember that the fight for universal respect of human dignity transcends political and ideological divisions, which again we do agree with mostly. Is that everything? I believe so. So this is Horstad. And we do see there's a logistical issue here, and this capital industrial sector, and it has USB mayor. And we did go through every single thing. So we have two options here. We have current political situation and we have the economic situation. We would like to have a briefing on economic situation first rather than the political situation, because I still need to know whether or not we are going, like, what is happening here. Okay, well, great. We have three people already. Simon Hall, Gus Manja, and Lilias Graf. Simon Hall is a politician and businessman. Okay, he's a businessman who serves the Ministry of Economics. So he's the person who succeeded me in this endeavor. As a former chairman of the central bank, he's known for possessing great influence over the economy of Sordland. He's regarded as the top expert in Sordland financial matters, big supporter of the free market reforms. Okay, this is good. But also criticized other policies and blamed the recession on the rush handling of the reforms. Interesting. So he's blaming the policies being rushed rather than it being an internal matter. He's often famed for the promotion of free market analysis and the boom in Acacia. He wrote several books and articles on the economic inequality of the Markian region, which earned him praise for the economists and both for economists in Sordland and abroad. Simon gave his support to Anton Rain after recession and campaigned with him throughout the whole election process. Eventually, he was appointed as Ministry of Economics, Commerce, and Energy. That's nice. So who is this guy? Gus is a politician and businessman. Okay, he's also another businessman who serves as the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development. In the Anton Rain administration, Gus Manager has been a USP member since 1933 and served as the Minister of Development under Alfonso's government. He's the only cabinet member who managed to retain the ministerial position from Alfonso's administration. Interesting. He was born in Violin. Okay, so that's like all. Okay, so I believe, but the most important part was he was also part of the Alfonso administration. And Lilias Graf is the current Ministry of Interior. She's a member of the USP since the formation. So she's extremely old. She might be like very old. Before that, she was a staff sergeant in the Women's Army Corps. Oh, that's actually quite good. She served as mayor of Avery. This prompted Tranquil Salt to pick her as the mayor of Horstad. Okay, so she was the mayor. Interesting. She left the position and became the minister under Rain's administration. Okay, sorry. Simon Hall, Gus Manager, and Lilias Goff were about to arrive in the White Room for our scheduled economic meeting. This room was in the Maroon Palace, where all important meetings were held. Two assistants arrived first, carrying a heavy projector. They stood by the door, waiting for the minister to enter. From the hallway, I heard Goff's voice. She was using the patient, almost motherly tone she often took in heated arguments. Gus, do you really think such an economically advanced area would need more investment than England? Lilias took my Lilias, my interior minister, strode in. She was clad in shades of brown and beige, the only spot of a bright yellow color, Danis of a bright yellow Danister's cross on her necklace. Gus followed close behind her. Oh, don't be an idot, Lilias. Well, um, how about the unemployment crisis in Greater Hallstatt and Greater Gisland? Regions are going through. These are need these areas are our economic heartland. He is not wrong, actually. In this particular crisis, Gus curled his hands into fists. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development's temper hasn't changed since the days of the Alfonso administration. Neither his reputation for getting, but neither has his reputation of getting things done. His far-reaching network of connections was unlike any other. Simon Hall quickly stepped up between the two ministers. Without looking at either of them, he cleared his throat. Good morning, Mr. President. Okay, what type of person are we? Um, I think we will acknowledge Hall over here. We'll say good morning, everyone. How are you? I'm very well and motivated, Mr. Rain. It seems our ministries are feeling the same. Ministers are feeling the same. I can clearly say that. What was the discussion about? So we can actually bring that up as well. Just as expected, how is it going? I can clearly see that. What's the discussion about? We are just having a discussion about the infrastructure plans. If I may, I would like to talk about the. Simon interrupted. We'll get to there, Gus. No rush. First, I'd like to conduct my economic presentation. I'm interested in what Gus has to say. Let's begin. I am kind of interested because they both are businessmen. Oh, of course, Mr. President. I have some very good construction companies willing to take the government contracts in the greater Horstad and Gelsard region. This would boost the rural economy. I think it would be wise to pick the investments that will go through these regions. This seems like a good opportunity. There's no need to rush this. This does seem like a good opportunity, right? Additionally, we can. Lilias interrupted him. A wise idea if your main agenda is to make money instead of developing the region and serving the people. Could you watch your tone or could you elaborate? No. We are here we are a what you call bookish person. We need to hear every single perspective. Lilias, could you elaborate? Of course, the argument is simple. Angerland is the weakest region in both terms of economics and social support. We support the city of Avery and its respected mayor. How impartial can you really be? Was observing the argument. What are your thoughts, Simon? I have to agree with both of them. Angland is in need of investment. We need to improve the greater Hallstatt. I want to avoid this topic for now, uh, since we will talk about it in the future. I would rather be fully brief on your situation. Okay, on the economic situation. He pulled out the silk handkerchief from his pocket briefly and wiped his glass. Now I have comprehensively analyzed every aspect of. He was interrupted by a groan from one of the assistants. The door, by the door, both who seemed now to be visibly struggling to hold up the heavy projector. Oh, you can just put it there. He pointed at the painting of President Saul. Oh, we can see the president. Okay, so this is the President Saul. I forgot to look up it, actually. So we will read more about him, I think, a little later then. Leave now. I mean, thank you and please leave now. The assistants left the cabinet. I was reminded that Simon never quite got away with people, but his facility with numbers had made him the most sought after economic specialist in Sordland. Simon started looking at his slides. He always carried documentations around him. We are not going to yawn, we're going to wait. Lilias leaned to the table and spoke. Simon, what happened to the new police station construction in Ersord? This is another city. Well, this place is This country is too big to be controlled by just government. We need. While going through the brief, he paused for a moment to answer. It stalled due to the government property, uh, to a government property boundary issue. I've been meaning to take a look at it. I can take a look at that one. Astor needs all the security help it needs. Sure, give me more time to spend on this analysis. He his eyes glistened when he finally found the slides that he was looking for. There have been some developments about the Sodish Ren losing further value today. We have been trying to stabilize it with the central bank. The recession of 51 put an enormous pressure on the economy, resulting in the collapse, the value of our current currency. Resulting in the collapse of the value of our currency. The entire situation was the significant cause of a concern for our administration. Since economy is your forte, Mr. Rain, it is possible that you might be aware of the data. I can still explain the current economic situation in better detail. Sure, okay. What is our GDP and debt situation? Our current GDP is 310 billion Swedish ren. In the national debt is 427 billion. It's still hard to fathom that we lost nearly 150 billion in wealth. The past 3 years were tough. What's our unemployment and inflation rates? Unemployment has skyrocketed and now staggering 16%, and the inflation has been 10%. Unemployment is increasing crime rate and drug use. We need to get people off the streets. Inflation isn't helping the average citizen either. What's the status of the recession? The economy has been in a recession for about minus 6% in the past year. The average GDP has dropped from Swedish Ren 15,454 per capita to 10,359 from 1951 to now. The administration's success depends on our ability to stop the recession. The sooner we can reach GDP growth, the better. I have all the information we need. Let's move on to economic strategy. Simon scattered the paper stacks in front of him in an orderly manner and took the final look at his notes before clearing his throat. As you can see, the situation is alarming, but not everything is negative. The extensive privatization program, Alfonso, and the key foreign direct investments left us a large budget surplus, which we can use to stabilize this crisis. The primary subject we need is to settle what general path we will take in our term. Solonomics-based nationalization happened in the 30s, and Alfano's privatization began in the late 40s. What will our administration focus on? One of our main promises was to go with the free market, yes, to stop the recession. To be frank, I believe it is the only way out of recession. I still do not support it. Why promote a private sector when we have qualified state-owned enterprises? Because lack of competition makes it inefficient. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, I completely agree with both of them. Humanity is in the 20th century. We need to strive for the future. Sorry, I forgot to read the others. But humanity is in the 20th century, thriving because of supply and demand. I agree. Look at how quickly Lesbia and Acacia have increased their prosperity by increasing principles. Sordland has potential to do as well. Why don't we use our potential seriously? Integrating heavily in the market economy would work if we had extensive means of production. Our industry is lacking. The structural programs of Solonomics were going to lead us into a recession according to the predictions at the time anyway. Either way, if we pick one doctrine, we can only retain the option of an economic choice based on case-by-case basis. This is, however, not recommended in my point of view. The last thing we need is a chaotic economic plan. Finally, we can agree on. There's another important factor that has a direct impact on our economy: superpowers. We might have won the election, but I'm still against allying ourselves with any superpower. Economically speaking, we are much closer to Acacia than United Cortana, so the decision to align west makes more sense. It does. We must be cautious. There are schemes being devised about Sordland. We cannot give in to their wants now or in the future, otherwise our country will be turned into a pawn. I want you to reconsider your promise to line with Acacia. I made a promise to the people of Sordland I cannot back down. Don't worry, I won't let Acacia control Sordland. Entering the sphere of Acacia will boost our economy in many ways. They are wealthy and influential, which I agree with. You may be right. Let's see what the future brings. I do think going with entering the sphere will be better. Exactly. I like to think that it's a very valuable partnership. Again, it's a partnership. It's not like we own you or you own us. I would like to think of it as a very valuable partnership. With the deals we will get by allying ourselves with a strong country like Acacia, recession would surely end in no time. In return of what? Sordland's independence? When the time comes, I hope you will make the right decision for our own good. We should attract more foreign investments, President. We saved the country from a full on depression in 1952 and 1953 by signing lucrative trade deals with nations such as Lesbia, Rizia, and Quinal. So, what is Rizia? Kingdom of Rizia and Republic of Quinal. Can we see them? Oops, sorry. Let me come here. Okay, so this is Kingdom of. So we do have a good relationship with. Do we have a good relationship? They're neutral and they're weak. That's Lesbia, and this is Quinal. We don't have anything to click with them, and then this is Lesbia as well. Okay. Simon cleared. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Minister VC will be in charge of informing you on those type of foreign policy decisions. We must first decide on our internal economic plan. Simon put forward a legal document outlining the possibilities of both economic doctrines listed. Why? We already promised something. Let's finish what we have to thank Saul. No, we are against Saul at this point. Let's finish what Alfonso started with the capitalist free market reforms. Yes, that's what we're going to do. The recession was a direct result of his free market reforms. History must note that the reason the recession was because Edward Alfonso was betrayed by his party, which I also agree with. It's not true. There was plenty of time for him to do it. If you can't make change happen, if you can't make change happen within 2 years, then it's your fault. This is just pointing me in that I need to whip the party up in shape. I know the issue is with the what do you call economy, but if the party is not going to listen to the leader, then we're going to be another Alfonso. We can't let that happen. We need power to influence the party. What's our long-term schedule? Choosing construction contracts, trade relations, tax reforms, and privatization initiatives would be some of them. Sticking to a solid planned economic strategy would be the right call. The 5-year plans were fruitful years in the past. That is not wrong, but the issue with that is we are no longer in the past, we are in the future, and globalization is the future. Why would a free market economy bring strong allies? It would make Acacia look at our country as more positive light. They are a proponent of the free market economy. Influence Acacia has on the world economy is extensive. Our economic strategy should be based on internal reasoning, though. Let's move on to the conclusion. What are your thoughts? Critical institutions must remain in state control. We must be fully responsible for providing. Okay. We should look for opportunities like privatization to create financial resources, which also is good. A market economy doesn't require much guidance, could help us attract wide foreign capital. These two are also really good. But it is hard to fully agree or disagree with these options. You already know what we're going to do. I think I'll go with this one. Privatization will also help us increase our finances. Exactly my mentality. There are many possibilities waiting, like education, health, privatization. It would be better to promote a market economy for these to have consistency with our plan. So what's our economic model? Sorry, what will our general economic plan promote? We're going to promote the free market as promised. I can't say I agree with this. Lilias looked displeased. Now that there is clarity on which direction we are headed, I will work on a good plan accordingly. This concludes our meeting. At our next gathering, we will talk about the upcoming infrastructure plans. Now that the economic direction was decided upon, the ministers dispersed for lunch at the Maroon Palace. Nice. Well, that was certainly a very long episode. So I believe we did get like a better picture. Oh wait, we got something here. Uh, economic step. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, the recession was terrible. I mean, well, the good news is that we can we are going to basically go capitalist, and that will definitely help us resolve this issue. But dang it, we are what is this red line? It's like probably really bad if we go below the red line. We will try our best to make sure we don't cross the red line, but it's most likely going to like just dip continuously. We do have new articles and new news to read, and we will do so probably in the next episode, just similar to this. And I believe that's it. So we did take a look at the world map. I oh right. I do not know if I've actually done this. I did like the intros. I'm going to try to use and using AI images probably do an intro. Again, this part is not yet planned. I may do it, I may not do it. It's all later on. I really like the small introduction, like intros where there's a small introduction of Anton Rain, his past, and what he did in the previous turn. A small brief summary about it. So, yes, I believe that's all my thoughts. I really hope I was recording. If I was not, it would be quite terrible and I have to redo everything from scratch. So, thank you, and thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Bye.